If you don't have a vision, you'll never get anywhere. That sound familiar? Should. I'm sure most of you have heard some form of that advice from influencers, gurus, mentors in the leadership space. But what does it even mean? What the heck is a vision? Why is it important? And how can I even create one for myself? Well, on today's episode, we're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about exactly what a vision is, why it's so important for you to have one and incorporate one into your business and your daily life as a leader, and how you can actually go about right now starting the process of creating your own vision. Guys, don't forget, if you like this video, if you get any value out of this video, out of this page, please don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on. And if you comment the word leadership at the end, we'll give you a shout out in a future episode. All right, let's go. All right, this is Libretti Leadership Lab number 5 with me, Libretti. For those of you who don't know me, John Libretti, host of the Libretti Leadership Lab, founder of SPEARHEAD Leadership Consulting and Coaching. Been doing this for a long time. Spent 14 years in the military as an intelligence officer in the Air Force. Been leading teams of different sizes and capacities in combat environments, in high-stress environments, in no-fail environments. So I bring a lot of experience with me in the leadership space and have a lot of passion for providing that leadership development to others now through SPEARHEAD Leadership, through our company. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, feel free to find us on our website at www.spearheadleadership.co. Hit us up on Instagram at _SpearHeadLeadership. Check out this YouTube page for subscribe to it so you get more leadership value in the future. It's at SPEARHEAD Leadership. Check us out on LinkedIn at SPEARHEAD Leadership. We got a whole lot of good content out there for you guys. If you want more leadership value into your day-to-day habits, we got it for you here. So last week we talked about values. Now, vision, what we're discussing in this episode, and values go hand in hand. They align together in a lot of different ways. It's vital that they align together as a leader when you're trying to create your own vision and create your own values. They have to be in alignment. So if you didn't check out last week's episode, the Libretti Leadership Lab number 4, I highly encourage you to check that out. If I can, I'll put it up in the top left of the screen here, the link for you guys to click on and check that episode out. These topics go hand in hand. A lot of the leadership topics you'll see and the principles we discuss feed off of each other. So we're going to make sure we mention that to you guys ahead of time and ensure that you're understanding the connection between all these different traits and principles, and understand that it's not just checklist items on your notepad to check off to become a better leader. So we're talking about vision. What the heck is a vision? Tell me, Libretti. I hear it all the time. I don't know what the heck it means. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to incorporate this vision into my life, into my business? That's a great question, guys. I'm so glad you asked. Your vision is essentially, to put it in layman's terms as best as possible, it's your direction. It's your purpose. It's your why. I'm sure you've heard that a lot. Find your why. What's your why? What's the reason for it all? What is your purpose in your business, in your life goals, whatever? That is your direction. That is your sort of your North Star when accomplishing your goals. Why are you doing it? If you don't have a vision, you don't have a direction. And you're accomplishing tasks and goals that lead to almost nowhere. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that in your lives and your businesses and your careers in the past. You're doing a whole lot of stuff. You're accomplishing a whole lot of things, and that's great. But you never really took time to understand and think about what am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing all these daily tasks and creating this work for myself, what is it all for? And there's a lot of philosophical, thinking that can be done when it comes to a vision. But we're going to keep it more strategically, operationally, tactically pertinent to you guys because we want to make sure you have an effective way forward, an effective direction that you're following now, a quality purpose for you guys to follow. And I say guys in the general sense. It's a vernacular I'm just used to using. So I apologize if I offend anybody with the use of the words guys. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody who's tuning in here to the Libretti Leadership Lab. You're all who I'm talking to. So why is this important? Why is a vision important? If you don't have a direction, I mentioned this before, if you don't have a direction, if you don't have that purpose, you're existing in life and in your business aimlessly. And it's not just about you ending up wasting your time and effort. It's about you wasting the time and effort of the people around you. It's about you accomplishing nothing you actually want to accomplish or preventing you from accomplishing what you actually want to accomplish with your life and business. If you don't have the North Star, you're flying blind in life. So you have to remember that creating an appropriate, effective vision and purpose for yourself will actually provide you the roadmap that you're actually looking to attack. And I see this a lot in businesses. I see this a lot in general day-to-day operations of people. They're just existing in their work, in their companies, in their lives. And you ask them, well, why are you doing this? Well, I always do this. I do this every day. I come in and I check emails and I do this every day. Okay, why? How is it helping you accomplish the goals you set out? Well, I didn't really think about it. It's work to do, to check the box and accomplish stuff. So that's why it's so important as a leader to have a vision and a purpose, not only for yourself and your business, but it gives that direction and that North Star and that purpose to your team as well. One of the things we got sort of lucky on in my time in the military is, at least I can speak for the Air Force, and I imagine the other branches as well have this, but the Air Force as a whole has a strategic vision that they put out there to the masses. And they update it. And we'll talk about the importance of updating your vision. And they update it. But you get in, you commission in the Air Force as an officer, and you have it laid out for you. What you don't have is the reason why they have this vision, why it's so important, and how you can connect your day-to-day operations and missions towards that ultimate vision. We had to learn that kind of as we went. And if you had good mentors and good leaders with you in the military, they're going to help teach you that stuff, educate you on that stuff. We're going to try to do that stuff right now with you guys so that you don't have to flail around aimlessly with none of this quality information. So when I got out of the military, that's sort of where it hit me the most. 14 years in the Air Force, different units. We all had different missions and visions and strategic goals and purposes kind of laid out for you. It was almost too easy. Now, as I went through and as I grew and learned and improved myself as a leader in my job, I started to realize the importance of creating visions and purpose and whys for the individual teams that I led that also coincided with the values of our team and the values of the Air Force as a whole. Because as we discussed in the episode discussing values, the military comes out, they have their core values, and that's good. But you have to connect the dots down to the lower level. We call it the tactical level. So you're going to hear me say that a lot. The operational tactical level, it kind of goes in a hierarchy. So strategic level, I'll give you a little quick military definitions here. Strategic level, big picture. Long-term goals, long-term vision, strategic, high end. Operational is a little bit further down, more specific action items to help you achieve the strategic visions. And then tactical level is the day-to-day tactics, procedures, and things you do to achieve operational success in order to achieve the strategic success you're looking for. So that's sort of the hierarchy. So if you hear me say those terms, that's what I'm talking about. So we learn in the military through experience and failure too, to be able to create tactical and operational level visions and purposes for yourselves and your teams to achieve those higher strategic goals that you have, those strategic level visions. And I call that a lot of times big to small. Go big to small with it. You have the strategic level. Now you start working down and necking down all the way down to the daily tasks, the tactical level, and connect those dots that way. So how do we do that for ourselves? How do I even start to create a vision? I still don't understand how I'm going to get to that point yet. Well, I like to break it out in two separate buckets, if you will. Personal side, professional side. And these should align. Okay? And I'll tell you why in a second here, but I build these out into two buckets, and when I work with clients and I talk to people, we build it out in two buckets because you have different agendas, you have different goals for your careers and your businesses than you do in your personal lives. It's just natural. You shouldn't have the same your personal life goals should not be, scale and grow my business to $50 million profit annual. That doesn't make sense for your personal life. You should have personal life goals and a vision. So that's why I separate it out. If you're a business owner, you want to create your end state, if you will, your 5-year end state. I like to go 5 years for the big strategic level goals. So this is how we're going to break it down. Professional level vision. Where do I want to see my business and my team be in 5 years from now? And you write it down. Let me tell you something real quick. Writing things down, handwriting things down, is one of the most effective game changers to your success. I think it's something like 97% of people who don't write their goals down don't accomplish those goals. So you're figuring the vast majority of people who have goals don't write them down, and it's one of the big reasons why they're not accomplishing them at the rate that they're looking for, at the effective level that they're looking for. That's not me. That's not me making this up. I wish I was that smart to make that stuff up, but these are studies that have been done that if you're writing your goals down, if you're writing things down, it has an effect on your actions, your thoughts, and your decision making, to the point where you're posturing yourself much more effectively towards the success you're looking for. So I always recommend writing stuff down. So write down where you want your business to be, where you want your career to be in 5 years. And then think about and write down why you want it to be that way. For example, I wanted my business in the first 5 years or whatever to have X amount of revenue so that I can take it full time, not have to work part-time jobs on the side to maintain the level of income I'm accustomed to, and then to also be able to have the most impact on people. If I'm bringing in that much revenue annually, then I have the time and the ability and the financial resources to go positively impact even more companies by scaling and growing. Why did I want to do that? Because I want to have the most impact on people as possible. I want to bring whatever skills and experience and lessons I bring to the table. I want to help out as many businesses and individuals as I possibly can. And that's the way I'm going to do it. So you write that stuff down. Okay. Then from there, you start, I call it necking things down, specifying it out, big to small. What are your midterm 3 year goals from there? How are you going to help reach that 5 year vision? So identify maybe a 3 year vision, 2 to 3 years, midterm, if you will. Write that down, write down why that's important. And then you neck it down even further. How can I make my quarterly habits, my weekly, my daily habits and tasks align with that midterm and long-term vision? And you start creating an actual process for yourself that aligns with that vision ultimately. And then you do it on the personal side. What is a personal vision or purpose you have? Think about it. And you don't have to answer it right away. But write down what's going on in your head. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not going to be perfect right off the bat. You're not going to suddenly write down immediately this perfectly clean, tightened up, beautiful looking vision that you see these famous, philosophers and leadership experts have written out on their websites. It's not going to look like that. But writing something down, writing a draft down, just writing down your thoughts on it is the first step towards success. If you don't write it down, if you don't actually put pen to paper to clean this stuff up, it's never going to come to fruition the way you want it to. So an example for personal vision, personal level, visions and purpose and whys would be maybe something having to do with your family. I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to pay off my parents' mortgage. I want to pay off my home debt or my own home mortgage. I want to be able to pay off my wife's or husband's student loan debt. You identify something of value to you in your own personal life and create that North Star for yourself. There's a lot of people out there that tie it to their family. So take the time to think about that, write down some notes, do some brainstorming and put it to paper about what's important in your life, what you're looking to have or to see in the next 5 years of your life, what you want your life to look like 5 years from now. Write it down, your little vision of self-image there. Identify it out. Then write down why that's important to you. And then from there, you start slowly but surely necking down to create your daily habits, your process that's going to help you achieve that vision. Okay. If you notice, and if you've watched previous episodes as well, you notice these things are very simple in form. Everything can be simply stated, simply applied. And that's not because it's easy. Okay? Don't get it twisted. They're simple and easy are different things. Okay, there's a reason why there are so many poor leaders in the business world. And it's not because leadership is complex. It's because it's hard to incorporate day to day, every single day, these processes without the human element coming in, without the human factor coming in. Discouragement, not seeing results, and giving up too early. Consistency is key here with this stuff, but it's very simply put. The process is simple. Big to small when it comes to creating your vision, identifying your purpose and your why. Then you have to incorporate these into your daily habits and daily actions. That's what is the difference between leaders who just exist in the world and highly successful leaders. Is they're able to incorporate these processes, these simple processes and these principles into their daily habits and stay consistent with it, even when the results aren't necessarily there immediately. Okay, don't forget, your vision is a long-term sort of 5-year plan, 5-year goals. Obviously, it's not going to happen immediately. It's for 5 years from now. So please understand that. Okay, you're going to create a great vision. Okay, I have confidence in everybody. You're going to identify what's truly important to you, why it's important to you, why this is the outcome you're looking for, why this is the result you're going after, why this is your North Star. Awesome. We want that. You're gonna do great with that. That's not gonna be that difficult to do once you start to get the mental juices flowing and you're taking notes and you're writing things down. And it's not gonna be terribly difficult to come up with a 3-year vision based off of that. When it's gonna get difficult is when you start to incorporate these in your day to day, and after 4 days, 5 days, 1 week, you don't feel like there's any progress. You're doing this for a week straight, you're doing this for months straight, several months straight, and you're like, I'm not a millionaire yet. My business hasn't grown. I haven't reached the profit goals yet. That's the point that makes or breaks most good leaders. Because when it comes to becoming a great leader, they identify those points and they stay consistent through their process. Instead of giving up or changing direction or turning around with their tail between their legs, that's when they know I'm feeling defeated right now. I'm feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. This is when I know this is the most important to stay consistent and tried and true towards the purpose, towards the vision. That's one of the big things we do at Spearhead with the people we work with is we help them through those tough times. We help them be better able to identify those times and then how to lead through them. And everybody deals with it. I deal with it on a regular basis. They're called fight throughs. Okay. I didn't coin that phrase. An incredible sports psychologist, Dr. Jason Selk, coined that phrase in his, excuse me, his program that he has. And it's rings true. It's your fight through. It's the point at which you don't feel like anything's working. Okay. And that's what we help people do is identify, oh, I'm in this stage right now. I'm in the stage where I don't think anything's working and there's no progress. And then we help you lead through that, fight through that phase to continue your consistency towards the success you're looking for, which is your strategic vision, your purpose, your why. So once you have all that stuff done, like I said, it's pretty simple. You just follow the game plan each and every day. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, and I wanna kind of, for lack of a better term, circle back to. I don't like using those corporate buzz terms a lot, but when you're creating your vision, professionally and personally, have next to you, if you don't have it already have it written down, you should have next to you your core set of values. Because like we discussed, those are your guardrails on your road, on your path towards your success. Whatever your success, your version of success looks like, which is going to be your vision, your purpose, your why. But you have to align it with your values. So have them up next to you as you're brainstorming to figure out your strategic vision and what you want to shoot towards, what you want to aim towards. Your values should be right there because those are the guardrails that's going to keep you in line to get you there. Okay? They should always align with each other. They should always be complementary to each other. If your values don't align with your vision or vice versa, again, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to once again just exist aimlessly with no real direction or boundaries to follow. And that's not what we want. Okay? That's what most people are doing these days. But we're not most people. If you were most people, you wouldn't be watching this, you wouldn't be listening to this, you wouldn't be trying to get better. We don't want to be just existing in our businesses and our careers. You didn't start a business, you didn't become, this career executive just to exist. Okay? You wanted something more. So let's help you get to that point effectively. And it starts with a core set of values aligned with a quality vision and purpose for you. Now, a question that gets brought up a lot that I hear a lot of people talk about is, well, what happens when I accomplish this? Then what? Do I just go back to aimlessly flailing around my existence? No, we're not doing that. Okay. It's okay to adjust and update your vision and create a new vision, a new purpose. The point of the vision and doing all this work is so that you can accomplish it. You can accomplish your why. You can stick to that why. So when you do accomplish it like you want to, you just set a new goal for yourself. That's okay, and that's encouraged. Adjusting your vision to what you truly want, what's truly important to you, and why it's important to you, that's okay. That's encouraged to do. Okay, because once you hit that, once you accomplish your goals, if you stop, you're going to end up backtracking. There's really no stopping when it comes to leadership development, personal development. If you're not working towards learning, growing, and improving constantly, you're backtracking. Okay? Because once you stop, you're not growing. And you're eventually going to atrophy in your skill sets. So accomplish your goals, you reach your vision, everything's great. You follow the process and you got to the result you're looking for. That's awesome. That's what we want. Let's do it again. Rinse and repeat in that realm. You see businesses they do this all the time. Okay, so it's not uncommon, and it's like I said, it's completely okay. Businesses have initial goals, new businesses. You think Amazon started out with, I want to be the online leader in everything? No. They were an online bookstore. They wanted to be the best. They had a vision to be the online library for people. And then as they accomplished their goals, as their vision was achieved and realized, they started expanding and adjusting and improving their vision continuously. Now they have everything you could possibly want on the internet. You can order it through Amazon and they'll ship it to you that day most of the time. They have music on there. They have a streaming service to watch movies and TV shows and to rent things. They have the streaming service you can watch live events. They have become the go-to spot on the internet for almost anything. That didn't come from keeping the same 5-year strategic vision only. They adjusted and they expanded as they accomplished their goals. So it is highly encouraged to do that, to adjust as necessary. As things become important to you, include that in your vision and your why. That's okay. You're going to change as a human being. You're going to change as a business owner, as a leader. As you learn, grow, and improve, you will change. So your vision and your goals should change as well. So don't feel like once you do this, now you have no purpose in life. Okay? I felt that way, and a lot of military members feel that way when they leave the military initially. You go your entire career, some people go 20, 30 plus years in the military. And that's the life that they know. And they get out and they feel like, what am I doing now? Why am I doing anything anymore? They feel like they have no purpose. I felt like I had no purpose or vision or anything to go off of anymore. And you just have to create your own from there. And you guys are now in a unique position to do that for yourself without having to feel that hole and that void after 30, 40 years of being in a particular industry or operating without a vision. So take advantage of that. Okay? Take advantage of this opportunity that you're getting right now by tuning into this to take action and start creating your direction, identifying your why, your North Star, aligning it with your values, and getting after it. That's going to help you achieve high levels of success in your personal relationships, in the business you lead, in your career, everything. If you just keep sticking to the process and following your vision and never losing sight of that purpose, that why. Simon Sinek is a leader in the leadership space. As funny that is to say. He wrote a whole book on it. There's many books on the importance of having a vision, the importance of having a why and a purpose. His book, I believe, is titled Lead with Why. I think that's what it's called, or Start with Why. It's a great book, and it just gives you example after example after example of highly successful businesses and business owners and leaders in the world who have reached their success because they had a purpose that they identified, they had a why that drove them to their success, and they never faltered from that North Star. So think about that. Take the time to do the work now to create your vision, identify it, identify what's important to you, why it's important to you, what you want your life and your business to look like, your team to look like, and then take the action steps now so that you can realize that vision in the future. It's a lot easier to put the work in now than it is to go 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and realizing I just wasted that 10 years is gone. And I've created these bad habits and this environment in my team, this culture in my team that is not aligned with what I really wanted for my business or my personal life or whatever. I promise you, if you do the work now, you're going to reap the benefits in the future, and it's going to be a lot easier as opposed to waiting until after you realize I have a problem here and now having to play catch up. So that's all we got today on vision. Before we go, very quickly, I always like to end my episodes with the big three. Part of my core values, the big three, the three pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and a better leader overall in life. Number one, exercise every day. Do at least one thing each day to improve your health and fitness and wellness, physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number two, the hardest one to do, don't be a negative person, be a kind person. I say it's the hardest because with the advent of social media and having all this chaos and negativity right at our fingertips on our phones, it's so easy to remove the human element out of things and just be really nasty and negative towards somebody because this is just a profile on the internet. So I'm just responding to this stupid profile that's being mean and nasty to me. So I'm going to be negative and mean and nasty to them. please, if you are ever in that situation, if the opportunity ever arises to be negative and mean and nasty, take a deep breath, take the step back, detach from those negative emotions, and instead of reacting to those emotions, just omit yourself from the situation. Put your phone down, close your laptop, whatever. That way, you're minimizing the negativity in your world and the world around you. And now you're allowing yourself the capacity, the mental and emotional capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things in your life, like exercising, perhaps. Number three, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good things you have in your life. And you can do this each day by taking the time to actively think of at least one good thing in your life and then thinking about what your life would be like without that good thing or that person or experience or whatever. And that will immediately put you in a state of gratitude. Far too often we take things for granted. We all assume we're going to wake up the next day. We all assume we're still going to have the roof over our heads. We all assume we're still going to have running water, air conditioning, heat, whatever it is at our fingertips all the time. It is a luxury we have become accustomed to the point where it's expected and demanded. So if you actively take the time to think about what would my life be like without running water or without air conditioning in the summer Texas heat or anything like that, even this most simple amenities without internet, you'll immediately put yourself in a state of gratitude, realizing, oh, wow, thank goodness I have this in my life. And when you're in that state of gratitude, you're much less prone to being that negative, nasty person to others or to the internet around you. And then you'll have the capacity to go focus on good things like exercising every day. So if you do all these three things a little bit each and every day, follow the process each and every day, I promise you, you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and a better leader overall in life. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you got any value on this, put it in the comments. Put your questions in the comments. If you have any topics you want discussed, if you're having an issue that you want help with on the leadership side, maybe you're having a conflict with a coworker or a peer at work or a subordinate at work, anything you want, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. Maybe we'll even get you on an episode and talk about it that way. But please put it in there. If you put the word leadership in there, we'll give you a shout out on a future episode. So do that. Tell your friends and enemies. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I love you all. Stay strong.